Hi, today I want to talk about something that comes up with so many of my clients and inside of my membership community. And that question is, why do I attract emotionally unavailable partners? Right? This is when we start reflecting on what is it about me that is making me consistently fall into relationships with these types of people? Why do I feel like I'm just drawing them in like bees to honey? And I think it's such an important part of our healing journey to start taking some ownership for our own patterns, for our own behavior, and start realizing, well, if I'm showing up in this one particular way, and this way is leading me to attract emotionally unavailable partners, that you now see that you have the power and the control to start shifting how you show up and how you relate so that you can attract a different type of partner. You drawing in and attracting emotionally unavailable partners is not happening by accident, right? There is a way in which you are being and existing, an energy you are exuding that is aligning you with these types of partners. But when you can start to see that it is completely within your control how you show up, you start to shift your patterns. So there are two main reasons that I want to talk about in terms of why you may find yourself drawn to emotionally unavailable partners and why you find yourself attracting these types of partners. Number one is the beliefs that you hold. The beliefs that you hold are going to determine the ways that you show up and the people that you allow in and the people that you tolerate. Because what we believe and the things you believe about yourself are going to be affirmed in the types of relationships and people that you date. So if you have a belief that says, for example, my needs are too much, if that is a belief that you subconsciously hold in your mind that you're not even aware of, think about how that one belief is going to influence how you show up in your relationships. Myself included, right? I had a belief that I was unaware of, and I believed that my needs were a burden, that my needs were unimportant. So when I was in my relationships, I certainly wasn't asking for what I needed, right? If you have a belief that your needs are a burden or too much, you probably are going to feel very uncomfortable to ask for what you need. So you're going to show up in your relationships minimizing your needs, hiding your needs, putting your needs last, putting other people's needs before your own. And so when you show up in this way, this is going to kind of organically align you with people, the emotionally unavailable person who doesn't want to consider other people's needs, who only focuses on their own needs, and who likes you because you are, in a sense, needless and you don't express your needs. You minimize your needs. You put your needs aside. You focus more on their needs. It's like opposites attracting, right? And the emotionally unavailable person, likes that you minimize your needs. All of this is happening, without even talking about it, but it's just the way that you're showing up is then aligning you with people who are going to appreciate the fact that you don't have needs and care more about their needs than your own needs. And so if you're showing up in this way, this is something that you can control. You can start to prioritize your needs and put your needs first, or at least as of equal importance to the person that you're dating. This is just one way that you can shift the way you show up and the way you relate to others by first thinking about all the core beliefs that you have that are influencing how you show up in your relationships. The second thing that I want to highlight in terms of why you find yourself attracting emotionally unavailable partners is the way that you show up in terms of your tolerance, right? Your tolerance for emotional unavailability. If you grew up in a home where your parent was emotionally absent, emotionally unavailable, right? Preoccupied, distracted, whatever it was, if you didn't feel like your parent held space for you in an emotional sense, if there was a degree of emotional absence in your earliest parent child relationships, then this is kind of giving you a blueprint for, okay, this is what relationships feel like. Relationships feel like emotional absence. Relationships feel like a place where we don't talk about our feelings, and where I can expect that the other person isn't going to hold space for me and my emotions, or care about my emotions, or show interest in my emotions. And so we have a tolerance for our emotional needs going unmet. And so we find ourselves drawn to emotionally unavailable partners and attracting and letting in people into our sphere, into our world, who don't show any interest in our emotions or any desire to get to know us on an emotionally intimate level. And we tolerate this because we're used to this. And so we exert energy on trying to get them to change. We exert energy on trying to make this person be more emotionally unavailable. But we are very used to this fight, right? We are very used to this battle and trying to make the relationship be what we want it to be, because we are used to a relationship, the parent child relationship, and where there was no space for our emotions. And so we find ourselves in relationships with people who are also emotionally unavailable because it feels very familiar, just like that parent child relationship a long time ago. So if you find yourself in patterns of dating emotionally unavailable partners and attracting emotionally unavailable partners, it's because you're showing up in a way where the emotionally unavailable partner feels very comfortable and at home themselves. They like a relationship where they don't have to be very emotional, and you being drawn to emotionally unavailable partners gives them the environment where the tolerance for their emotional unavailability is high, and you stay anyway, and they don't have to change because you keep showing up and investing your energy even when they are not changing. So if this resonates with you right now, it's like, okay, well, what do I do about this? I don't want to keep tolerating emotionally unavailable partners. You want relationships where people hold space for you, where people care about your emotions, where your emotions can be met with curiosity and understanding, where people can soothe your emotions, where you can soothe your emotions, and you're not dependent on anybody doing X, Y, and Z for you to feel emotionally calm and centered, right? If this resonates with you, I just want you to know that this is 100% within your control to create for yourself. And when we stop outsourcing our security and our emotional safety onto other people, we start feeling more secure within ourselves. When you can start to think about what you feel, what you think, what you need. And instead of tolerating relationships where what you feel or need is going unmet, you start to speak up. You start to advocate for yourself. You start to express what it is you think and need and feel. Then you will very quickly see who is actually compatible with me, who is actually emotionally available, right? And when you are on this healing journey from moving from more anxious attachment to secure attachment, you need skills. You can't just magically think you're going to start feeling like you have the confidence and security to express your needs or express what you feel, when for years, decades perhaps, it has been an experience for you where it's very unsafe to express your feelings because you worry that if you express how you feel or what you need, you're going to scare them away. And so you find yourself fixating more on that, and you find yourself worried more about scaring them away than you concern yourself with honoring yourself. So if you want to learn how to prioritize honoring yourself and feeling secure within yourself more than keeping the other person around, the Secure Collective, my membership, is the place for you to get the tools to heal this anxious way of relating and start to feel secure within yourself, to have the tools to feel secure, to feel like you would rather speak up and say your truth and say how you feel and say what you need and not worry about their reaction. What if you were able to just say how you feel and deal with their reaction later? Because your priority is to honor yourself. Your priority is to speak your truth and no longer walk on eggshells and tiptoe around and hope that they are happy with what you say or what you feel or what you need. What if you were just more concerned about, I'm no longer going to betray myself. I'm no longer going to hide and minimize my truth just to keep somebody around. I don't want a relationship where I have to hide my needs and minimize my feelings just to keep somebody around. That's what the secure collective is about. It's about giving you the tools to feel so secure within yourself that you rather, quote, scare people away and honor yourself than keep somebody around and continue to betray yourself and minimize your needs. Join me inside the Secure Collective for the next live coaching call. Get your questions answered, get the clarity you need, get the tools to finally feel secure within yourself no matter what other people do. That is my goal. That is my life's mission. And that is what we do inside of the Secure Collective. I hope to see you very, very soon.